Welcome back, guys. We're here for Jaws 2.0.
Hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Hi guys, welcome back to Jaws. We're so excited to have you today. I think we left off last week talking about our relationships with God and how it's made an impact on our lives and kind of like how we became in relationship with the Lord. And I know last week you kind of felt like you were very surface about it. So I know today you
I don't think that it was surface. I just felt that, I don't know, I don't think I give the appropriate attention or the right appreciation to God. I think honestly, just like after getting over being sick and I was kind of had brain fog and just wasn't able to really articulate or communicate effectively. But after we had shared, I didn't feel like I really gave the attention to it that it needed. And so after, basically I was like, dude, I want to like do it again. Or, now she's just like, just bring it up, and we would do this again. And so I just want to, share, my relationship with God is literally one of the largest components of getting me to where I'm at. Obviously, me doing the work, having Ashley in a support, and having friends and family and all that stuff. But God literally kept me alive. I think that's something that I didn't even address or touch base on in depth. And if I did, some of the stuff I may say, I may have mentioned in the previous episode. But God is literally. I truly believe kept me here for a reason. I mean, there were so many times that I should not have been here, whether it was from the situations that I was putting myself in, the car accidents, the fights, the amount I was using to, even trying to take my own life. And so he had a greater plan and kept me alive in all of those situations. And like I said, it wasn't once, twice, it was over a dozen times that I should not have been here. And I think he just was waiting for me to grab a hold of this, and he kept giving me options and opportunities to develop a relationship with him. And I always knew him, like I said earlier in the previous shows. I've always known him, but I wasn't walking with him. And there's multiple monumental moments that happen. I mean, even again, my dad instilling it, my mom instilling it at a very young age, and having that relationship, going to church, growing up in the church, and being baptized in the Jordan River, all of that stuff. But it was like when we moved to Tennessee, it's like, dude, without my sobriety and my relationship with God, I never even would have moved to Tennessee. My sobriety and my family, and to be able to be in a place to make such a large decision. I mean, 95% of my family still lives in Southern California in Orange County. And so, it was a huge decision to have to make. But again, I literally was entrusted in God with the whole process. And because if I didn't do that, when I try to take control of things, the best of my decision, gets me back to those same places, which are not good. And I had to have faith, and I had to have hope of picking up and moving across the country, and, trusting that it was the right move, not only for myself, but for my wife and for our kids. And so, and then when I came here, it was just like the immediate, like, bam, bam, just being punched with God shots from one guy that was running for a campaign here. I thought he was meeting with me and wanted to to have us sponsor or give funds to his campaign when I'd met with him and stuff. And it was the complete opposite. It was finding out and seeing where my relationship with the Lord was, and basically calling me out because I'm like, yeah, I believe in God. And after hearing my story, he's like, dude, you're still trying to run the show. And again, is not to be contradicting what I said, is like, I obviously had faith in coming out here and things like that, but I did not fully commit to turning everything over. And so I was gradually doing that. And that was like the first moment where I was like, oh my gosh. I remember riding home on my motorcycle, being like totally caught off guard. I was like, this guy was, I thought he was going to be looking for an endorsement or, funding. And he basically hit me with an hour and a half about God and how, I need to do a deeper dive. And I remember riding home on my motorcycle, just being in tears and just being like, dude, what the hell just happened? And I remember talking to my therapist about it and just breaking down about that whole thing. And then, and there was, the constant yearning, finding a church, getting rooted, starting a Bible study, and finding guys that I was able to really connect with and open up and be vulnerable and share was huge. And that's something that's a huge part of my story and a huge part of my recovery today, is that fellowship with those guys. And then I have a Tuesday morning accountability group with another gentleman where we're walking through life together and just being very open and transparent, but it's led by the Word of God and how we're incorporating that into our lives. And it's so crazy. He's like always been there, but it's like he's been working more and more and more and more in my life. And I'm so grateful because the more that I've dove into it, the better off I've been. And when I truly let go and trust in God, things pan out the way they're supposed to. And, I've been praying lately for God to continue to keep opening doors where they need to be open, and for God to keep closing doors where they need to be closed. And he's doing that. Like the people that are in my life, just the relationships that I have, the endeavors and work, my relationships with my wife and my kids. And moreover, it's like I'm seeing how he's working in my life on the outside. Like Ashley, from somebody that didn't have like a deep-rooted relationship with God, actually had a lot of animosity and frustration towards him, especially after her father died, to like have her waking up for the last 2 years or year and a half, or however long it's been, like waking up at 5 a.m, doing her daily devotional. It's like, how inspiring. It's like those acts. It's like God is present everywhere. It's just, are we paying attention and being able to see him and what he's offering and what it is that we're doing? And so I just wanted to share, like I owed way more to him than the very surface level conversation that I had last week. And that was not out of disrespect. It was more out of just exhaustion and feeling like crap. And it was on my heart. And again, it was like, I really am trying to listen to my intuition more, because I believe God speaks to us in silence. And when I was able to really kind of pause, I was like, you did not give the credit where it's due. And I owe everything to God and the relationship that I have with him and the life that I have today. And so if you guys are out there exploring a relationship with God, or, whatever it may be to you, I highly advise that you really tap into that. Because I'm really excited. And part of this journey into 2025 is to really be more committed, more dedicated. My goals is to have, and I think I shared this last week, I forget if I did or I didn't, but it's like have a deeper relationship with the Lord, be more present with my family and kids, create memories, and be more at peace. And the only way I'm going to find that is through God. I've been doing this thing where it's just like I've for years, whether it was on social media or whether we've done through Jaws, it's like the balance thing, trying to set boundaries and different. It's like I've always tried it my way. And it's like, dude, I was just constantly on this freaking merry-go-round. And it's like now, like taking the word and like entrusting in God and what I've learned in there, incorporating that into my life is much better than me incorporating what I want to do into God's life. It's like listening to him and having him give direction. And so again, dude, I'm not perfect with this by any means, but I'm just saying I have seen and have reaped the benefits of when I'm in it. And the great news is when I'm not in it, I feel the repercussions of it and I feel the negative effects. And so, I'm so grateful for my relationship with the Lord. I'm so grateful for my relationship with God and what he's done in my life. And, I owe all the glory to him. And again, as I think whether, he kept me alive to be doing stuff like this. I mean, I truly believe that he's, he helped me find my passion through all my trials and not my passion, but my purpose. So,
I think that's amazing. I love that. I'm so glad that you took the time to share that, because I knew that was really on your heart and you really needed to. And I think that I just want to take a moment to touch on, we've talked about this a million times, but like there's so many worldly things that make us choose what we want instead of what he wants. And it's really easy to be distracted in this day and age, to think that there are signs coming for you, or to, it's like wishful thinking or manifestation, which is like biblically not even a real thing. I think that you can set goals and make choices in your life, but I really feel like when you have a relationship with the Lord, when things do not work out, instead of getting so upset because you think that it was like your choice and, oh, it didn't work out because you didn't get the opportunity. It's like, no, like God has other plans for you. He's redirecting you. And it's a matter of like, can you pivot and be emotionally okay about that, or can you not pivot, and are you going to have a fit because it's your way, not his way? And I think that that's how everybody gets so sucked into being depressed and everything else. It's like, oh, nothing ever works out for me, or blah, blah, blah. But if you realize that those setbacks are like an opportunity where God's going to just pivot you and shine the light in some other direction. Like I've had a difficult time with that, just figuring out what I'm going to do with my career after having a third kid, And there's been opportunities where I've been deciding if, originally I was going to think about opening my own space in Franklin and having my own salon, and did all this research and did all this work and put together a whole entire presentation and dealt with lease people and everything else. And then, I found out I was pregnant. It was like, God was like, yeah, this is not happening for you. Yeah. And even though I thought it was my will, like I'm going to do all this and I'm going to put together this PowerPoint and I'm going to get this presentation and I'm going to get this lease and I'm going to open this amazing space,
You were trying to force it.
I was trying to force it. And God was like, that is not what you're meant to do. You're not meant to open your own salon. You have a bigger purpose in life. And I keep feeling like he is telling me, like, my voice is so much bigger than just what's in the chair at the salon. Like, my voice needs to be heard on a bigger level than anything. And I can't utilize, the chair has been an opportunity for me to like connect with people and be able to create and do things. But there's so many things I'm so passionate about and creative about that there's other avenues that I feel like God is calling me to, because I mean, it's not just about doing hair. Like I like creating things for other people, you know?
Well, and it's, I just look at my whole life. I mean, this specifically these last 10 years of like, 15 years when I entered into recovery, and just like kind of how my life took shape. Like, none of the stuff that I have done or have continued to do is stuff that like I was like, I'm aspiring to do this. Like, God has literally shaped and molded that and created the opportunities. And it was I being aware of those opportunities that are there, and like the things that like I really was. There's two things that I'm not going to get into detail about that I was really passionate about and really excited about. I think you remember, like, and unfortunately they didn't come to fruition. There was a couple bad apples and different things that had happened. And God's rejection is God's protection, and that's like one of the things that we've really tried to bring more to light through that. Because I mean, I literally thought this was going to be like, one of the things I was doing. I was like, this is going to be the coolest thing ever, and like I'm so passionate and excited about this, and worked on it for almost 2 years. And it didn't come to light, and you know what? But it was like a way of God just of shining that. And again, in the moment, it was very hard to accept that. But I'm also like this time later, really grateful to be able to see like, hey, that happened for a reason, and had things progressed in another way, it could have been a lot worse down the road as things started to unfold. So I love that you bring that up, and I love that you say that and really tie in intangible situations and life experiences that have happened. And I think that's just where we're at with this. And like, that's why we even started the show, is like, dude, we could care less whether we have one viewer or 1,000 viewers or whatever it is. It's more of like, hey, if we can connect and support and help one person through our story, like we're doing what God has called us out to do. And it's for us, it's not striving to be in the spotlight or anything like that. I think it's more of really just sharing our story. And again, is I think there's so much power in connection and just being open and vulnerable. And so I'd love to hear, like, with what you guys are going through on there, I'd love to see and hear, where, if you have a relationship with God, where it is. If you don't believe in God, I mean, there's no right or wrong. I just would love to hear you guys just kind of point that out in the comments. And if he's worked in your life, share that as well. I think that's incredible. And if you want to hear more about, our journey with God, like, please continue to share that. But I think in switching gears a little bit, I know we have a lot that's going on right now just within our life, and you're trying to do, figure out what it is that you're doing with your career. There's things that we're trying to figure out with the kids and the house, and there's a lot of moving parts right now. And so I kind of wanted to bring to light of just more of today is, where are you at, like, mentally, emotionally, about life right now?
I don't know why this question bothers me so much. It like irks me. Where are you at mentally, spiritually, emotionally? I'm here.
It irks you?
I don't know why. I don't know
now
why.
Now we're going to dive into it.
I literally don't know why. It's almost like a button being pressed. I don't know why. It's such a silly thing that I don't know why.
Would you like to ask me?
Yes.
Okay, then flip the question.
So how are you feeling right now, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally?
I am at a place in acceptance these last couple of weeks. I've really fallen off routine. I just went to the gym for the first time this morning in like 2 weeks, basically, which was really hard. But I was so consistent with it and stuff, and I just couldn't believe I let myself fall. But in all due fairness, I mean, I was sick for like 3 weeks. I don't know. I feel like I had the flu, and then it turned into a cold, and then it turned into a sinus infection. I finally had to get onto a prescription to like help me start feeling better. But it's weird because it's like what we learned in DBT. There can be two actual situations. Like, I was in such a good place mentally, just being present with the kids and being so connected with everybody. And it was like everything. I remember laying on the couch with you guys and being like, God, this is just so incredible, and just being so here. But then on the flip side, that internal fight, the itty bitty shitty committee being like, dude, you're worthless. You haven't gone to the gym. You're slacking on your gratitude list. Your prayers, half-assed, like everything. It was like, so it's like, there was one part that was really good, and there was the other part that was not so good. And so to make that really clear is like my relational and family time was incredible, but my personal and like recovery in my program was not doing good, and I think that was kind of clashing, and so it was weird. And so I mean, it was, again, the truth behind it is like things were good, but they were also not good. And so and I'm learning that can be a real thing, because I'm like, how can things be both? So again, as I'm taking action around it, as we've talked in the past, is there's the awareness, acceptance, and action. If you don't have awareness, you can't accept. If you can't accept, you can't take action. And so for me, was really being intentional and motivational around this, like even getting up for a Bible study yesterday. It was like, dude, it was hard. We've been sleeping till like the latest we've ever been sleeping for, at least me, for a while, and I really want to make this new year. I want to start getting up earlier again. I used to be up like at 5 when I used to go surfing and do things like that. And it's
I know,
just
but
like,
that was like 14 years ago.
Relax, okay? There's no reason you can't shift or
Up
change.
at 5. I'm thinking that was literally before we got married. I had to have been 14 years ago. You were also like 20 in your 20s. I don't even think you were 30 yet.
See, thanks for the moral support.
I'm like, you're about to be like close to 40, honey.
Damn, dude, like you're really throwing
I'm just
daggers.
saying, give
But
yourself
anyways,
some
so,
grace. We also have way more on our plate. We didn't have children back then. We literally lived.
Yeah, I get it, but there's no
For
reason that I
ourselves.
can't. There's no reason I can't make those shifts, and I want to do them, whether Ashley believes in me or not.
I
in myself.
believe in you.
I
I don't
so
know why
it's
I'm yawning so much. I just can't breathe.
Again, like I said, there's looking ahead. I feel like, it's not like a mountain of stuff that I got to deal with, but I'm really excited about this, the phone stuff, which again, I feel like I've been dragging it out, but like that is coming to fruition now. And like, basically I'm at the moment of doing that. And like there's things that I got to deal with that I make them seem like they're such bigger issues than they are, but they're really not. And so overall, I'm content right now. I'm happy that I've like implemented what I needed to do, and I told you, like, even before we shot, you're like, are we going to shoot tomorrow? I'm like, dude, I have to go to the gym, just like and I think it was good to set boundaries, like with Ashley with that, because like I know we've committed to this, but it's like if I'm not in the right place mentally, I'm not going to be able to bring like the most efficient or effective communication to the table. And so I was able to stay committed and do both. But that's kind of where I'm at overall. I think it's important that we just check in with that, and there's some things that we'll talk about next week that we've encountered over the last year, and I think it's important to address that is caused some weight and but we'll save that for a specific episode.
I'm curious as to what that is. It's so okay, I need to go back. I mentally, spiritually, physically, I've just been really tired. I'm not going to lie. This holiday season, we had so many people in town, and families literally just left like yesterday. And the kids have been home for 2.5 weeks from school. They go back to school on Monday. Wyatt's having surgery on Monday to get his tonsils taken out and his adenoid. So it's just been a really, really full season. I don't even like to say busy anymore because I feel like I'm so grateful for how busy we are. So I'm going to say it's a full season, which is new terminology. I'm trying to change the terminology. Pregnancy, different. Full season.
But I want to know, you were like, you woke up this morning, you were like irritated and you were frustrated.
So irritable. I don't even know. I feel like I've just had a lot of anxiety lately. I think with the baby, I'm not really sleeping very well. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and get really bad insomnia.
Doesn't help that Wyatt screams at the top of his lungs at like 3 a.m.
turns on every freaking light in the house just to piss us off. I'm like, are you kidding me?
He does it to piss us off, but...
Well, he just wants attention. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, dude, I'm literally going to lose my mind. Flips the lights on at 5 o'clock in the morning. Every single light in the house, I get up, I'm like, what is going on? It's like daylight and it's 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Comes in our bed, finally lays down, snuggles. He's such a snuggle boy. But I think the sleeping thing, I can't wait for him to get his tonsils out. He's really bad sleep apnea. And so I'm hoping this is going to help his sleeping, where he'll sleep all the way through the night, a really restful night's sleep, and not have as many little tantrums and just be feeling better. But overall,
he's like, even when I said I'm going to the gym this morning, I think that sparked like irritation with you.
No, it actually doesn't bother me at all. I think I'm just like...
Not you weren't mad that like I was going to the gym. I think you were mad.
No, I'm mad that I'm not going to the gym.
Yeah, so...
because I'm sitting with the kids. So I think that I feel like I'm a lot out of routine because I don't go to a gym that has childcare right now. If I did, I would just take them with me. I'd be going every single day.
But on a positive note, or you know,
The flip
you
side.
on the flip side, you're like, look, can I go to the gym tomorrow? And I was, of course.
Yes.
So again, I think that's the other thing too, is like what I'm learning with myself and Ashley is around how important communication is, you know, simply by her simply just, I could see and like feel her, like the emotion building up, like out of the frustration. Not that I was necessarily going to the gym, but she was like beating up herself. But just that simple, like, hey, do you mind if I go? Like, and I don't know, that used to be hard for you, I feel like. You know, like, I don't know what that was, but it was by that, I feel by us just having that simple conversation, your attitude and your personality and stuff like shifted. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I do. I also just feel like I'm just feeling like the baby's going to be here soon. And so I'm wanting to get all these tasks done. And you and I have not had one meeting where we can sit down and go over finances and go over stuff that's happening for the new year. So that for me gives me anxiety because I want to have a plan. I know his plan. We just talked about all this. But at the end of the day, like we also need to be adults and be responsible. And we have to sit down and have like a goal setting meeting. So I'm feeling a little bit on edge about all of that because I just don't know what's going to happen. And our kids are all kind of shifting bedrooms and I just don't know what we're going to do. So I just want to feel like I'll feel so much more settled if you and I can sit down. Well, there's lots of things I want to do. But it's going to take months and the baby's going to be here. So I just think there's a lot of lists we need to go through and figure out like the process.
I think what we should do for this, for an accountability perspective, is we can have a meeting, but I think you need to identify what are the top 3 things because
I have a list.
I know because I come home and you want to do 450 things, and we can't literally, figuratively, and can't do it.
I could do it if I was strong enough. If I knew how to lay tile, I would be laying tile.
You need to identify the top 3 things that you want to have accomplished, and we can bring that here and be able to talk that through. I think people probably going through the same exact thing of whether they're pregnant, they have kids, or they need to create budget, they have goals, or they're wanting to get things done. I think it's important to bring that. So I want you to bring, and whether it's the next day or 2, but we'll bring it to here. And what are the top 3 things that you want to get done?
Well, I want to have a business meeting, you and I. That's one of the top things I want to do.
What does a business meeting consist of?
We need to go through all of our finances. We need to go through a budget. We need to go through, we need to get a contractor out here. We need to get quotes on how much everything's going to cost. That's a business meeting.
You guys have no idea how much shit she wants to do.
No, I don't. It's not that much.
Babe, every single day you come home, you show me a new floor plan, you show me a new vanity, you show me a new closet, you show me a new
Well, let's just get it done window. And then I won't have to show you anymore.
Babe, no, I literally, that's part of the problem is I can't get into
I'm nesting. It's a true thing.
Well, dude, I'll get you a bunch of hay and you can build a freaking nest.
It's not. It's a real thing. You want to have the house in order. I don't know where the baby's going to go. Why it's technically sleeping in the crib right now.
We have this house that is, it is not like a small task. Like like I said, I'm going to go back to what we stated. Top 3 things that you want to accomplish, and I'm happy to go over that with you. Top 3, anything more than that we're not doing. That's my boundary.
Okay. Upstairs needs to be done.
Upstairs is stretches.
That's 1.
I don't think you guys get
I will
this.
goal set. Okay, and I'm sure other people out there that are pregnant like me are in nesting mode and just want to get stuff done. Even when it comes down to taking down Christmas stuff or anything else, there's a lot of things I can't do by myself. So
a guy needs to write a book on how to deal with a woman in a nesting phase.
I need a strong person to help me carry down all these boxes and take down the tree, but I can't do it myself.
Babe, I help you all. You act like I don't help with anything.
No, you help a lot. I'm just saying, like, the tree has to be taken apart. It's 10 feet tall, and I'm trying to lift it over, but then I can't.
Again, put it in your priority list of what you...
Not 3. That's a different list.
If you guys don't, she just thinks I have 8 arms. So
I don't.
No, you do.
Now you're going to Monster Jam tomorrow, so it's going to be
and
a day gone, and I'm working all Sunday.
She wakes me up at 6 in the morning going, did you get your tickets to Monster Jam? And booked me tickets with no notification.
I can't help it. I'm just like if I don't get sleep, like I've said this a million times, if I do not get the adequate sleep that I truly need, I am literally gonna. I don't buy anything. I'm not really a buyer. Like I don't just go online and buy. I put things in my cart. I'm a cart saver, which is very different than a buyer.
She's got a lot.
If I was a buyer, we'd be broke. I'm not a buyer. I'm a cart saver a lot. I just saved like 4 toilets and a vanity in my cart at Lowe's.
Dude, you know what we need to do is we need to expose your cart
There's
to
not,
the group so
it's
everybody
not
can.
very exciting. It's
Well,
like
it's just
tile and
more
toilet.
to show everybody how much stuff you want to do. Anyways, we're going down a rabbit hole. Top 3 things, Ashley, that you want to do, and then
bring that next week.
I think from here, you guys, I will have an update for you, like for the 9th time that I've said this, but the phone thing will be done this week. So, and I'm on step 2 with my Al-Anon, working with my sponsor.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
that's
cranking
great.
away.
The blueprint to success.
That's
that
one
what
of
you're
that's
doing?
one of the books.
Yeah.
So life is good. Do you have a takeaway you want to update for next week?
My 3 list. I just decided I'm going to need to have a takeaway from my list. It's a goal.
And my takeaway is to set a boundary not to do more than 3 things. So we'll go from there. Wish me luck.
Bye, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe and follow each of us to find out about what's happening next week on Jaws. See you later.
Bye-bye.